Life jackets. We'll always teach best practice on our training boats. Now, when you drive a car, you put your seatbelt on. You ride your motorbike, you put your crash helmet on. When you go sailing, you wear a life jacket. The life jackets come in all shapes and sizes. This is a fully automatic life jacket, which means if you fall in the water, it will automatically inflate, spin you over on your back, keep your head above water, and hopefully save your life. But it can only do that if you're wearing it. When you get given a life jacket for the first time, inspect it and make sure it's up for the job. All our life jackets are serviced annually, but have a little look, open them up, marvel at what we did before Velcro was invented, and what you'll see is a large air bladder stitched onto a harness on the back. Okay? When you get one for the first time, open it up and check the condition of the life jacket. Main component is the trigger mechanism that you see on this side. This is the device that's going to inflate the life jacket. Comprises of two main elements. You've got the gas canister there, and you've got the automatic trigger, which will automatically puncture that gas canister and inflate the life jacket. When you get one, open it up, unscrew it, and do a visual inspection. If that's rusty and scaly, send it back and ask for a new one. The chances are the jacket's in a pretty poor state as well. It wants to be nice and shiny like that. It also makes sure it hasn't got a hole in the end. These only work once, and if that's been used, it'll have a hole where the trigger pin's gone. That won't work again. So no hole, that's a nice new unit. Screw it back in. Nice coarse thread. So that's easy enough to do. There we go. So it'll automatically inflate. That's the automatic device that triggers it. And for manual operation, just pull down on that, fires a pin up, inflates the jacket. The life jacket itself has got retroreflective tape. That's going to help someone with a torch locate you. And on the other side, we've got a light for nighttime use. Pull that down. There you go. Flashing light helps pinpoint where you are in the dark. You've got a top-up tube. If that's the first time you're going to use a life jacket, recommendation is that you actually blow the life jacket up. It only takes half a dozen good puffs to blow one of these up. Leave it on the side for 45 minutes, and if that's still inflated when you come back, then that's going to be a good life jacket. Dead easy. There are lots of places on a boat that can nick, damage a life jacket, and it only needs one cut in that, and then that's no longer a life jacket, it's just a very expensive waistcoat. It's not going to save your life. Blow it up, make sure it works. When you put one of these on, put it on like a waistcoat. Make sure there's not too many twists in there. Slip one arm on. On with the other one. Simple adjustment via two buckles on the side. Set that one up. Buckle engages like that. There we go. On around you. Nice and light, nice and comfortable. It's no hassle to wear one of these. We've got a crutch strap. That plugs in there. Make sure your life jacket's got a crutch strap. If you fell in the water, that's going to stop the life jacket floating up above your head. You want this to stay on board with you, on board you as much as possible. There we are. We're all set. We're ready to go sailing. During the course, I will be teaching you 8 knots that we use on and around the boat. The first knot of which is going to be the clove hitch. That's the clove hitch. One of the knots we use for securing a fender to the rail of the boat, for instance. The second knot we're going to teach you is the round turn and 2 half hitches. A knot we use on the fenders. This is how we tie it. That's the round turn, 2 half hitches that we use to secure a fender to the guardrail. Third knot we're going to teach you is the figure of 8 knot, used to put in the end of a sheet that controls the sail. Nice simple little knot. This is how we do it. The figure of 8 knot, we use that to prevent us losing the jib sheet through the fair lead. When you tie one of these, make sure it's got a tail on the end, because if the rope ever ran through to there, it's nice to have a tail to pull it back. There you go, figure of 8 knot. Knot number 4, the rolling hitch. Used where we have weight on a rope and we need to take the weight off. A jammed jib sheet, for instance, nasty mess on that winch. Need to take the weight off that. Rolling hitch comes in very handy. With the rolling hitch, that takes the weight off the rope, which enables us to undo those riding turns and mess that we might have on the winch. Rolling hitch, really useful knot. Knot number 5, the reef knot, used to join 2 ropes of the same diameter, like this. The reef knot, really useful knot because it doesn't jam. Put a load of weight on that, it still comes apart. As with any knot that we use on the boat, if it jams, it's no use to us. Reef knot, spot on. Number 6, the sheet bend, used to join 2 ropes together of a different size. Up she comes, goes round the back, crosses over, sheet bend. Knot number 7, the double sheet bend. Very similar to the single sheet bend, only this one's a little bit more secure. Round again. The double sheet bend, for that extra security that a single sheet bend can't give you. And last but not least, the daddy of all knots, the bowline. The bowline, really useful knot. No matter how much weight you put on that, she doesn't jam. Crew responsibilities. Well, the main responsibility is to yourself. Just because someone asks you to do something on a boat, make sure before you do it that you've double checked and make sure it's safe to do so. Classic example of that is when we come to tie the boat up. Come and have a look, I'll show you how we do it. Well, before we go sailing, we need to know how we untie the boat, and more importantly, when we come back, how we tie the boat up. All ties in with safety. Let's show you how we do that. Mooring line, mooring warp. Coil it up nice and neatly in your hand in preparation for coming alongside. When you lay it up, twist it over slowly, so you want nice neat turns like that. Not too many twists. We'll teach you all this, don't worry. There we go, nicely coiled up. Bowline in the end, over the top of the rail. Put on the mooring cleat. The safest place to get off the boat when you're coming alongside is here at the shoulder where the shrouds come down and meet the deck. Okay, you've got a nice firm handhold here to step off the boat with. As you come alongside, you step 1 foot over the rail as she's coming alongside, but only 1 foot. If you put 2 feet over and I slip, I'm only going to fall in between and become a human fender. That's no good to anybody. So 1 foot over the rail, if I slip, at least I fall back into the boat. Okay? When the skipper brings the boat alongside, his most trusted crew member, with the mooring rope in their hand, will then step over the rail and you step down smartly onto the pontoon. You do not jump, okay? So step down smartly onto the pontoon, wobble, and then come straight back to your mooring cleat here. Take it to the back, take a full turn and stand up and hold the boat. If I stay down here, my fingers are very close to that cleat. If the boat surges forwards, my fingers get drawn into the cleat. Okay? But if I stand up, I'm a good ½ metre away from danger. Okay? There's the unwritten rule that all crew members must be able to count up to 10 at the end of the day. They're going to need all of those to do it. Once the skipper's happy with the position of the boat, we now need to be able to make the rope, the mooring warp, fast. With that one turn, we're holding the boat, kneel down, and it's OXO, but with 2 X's. So we've already got our O, then we do an X, then we do another X, followed by an O. Pull it tight, job done. We'll show you how to do basic day-to-day maintenance of the engine. Let's have a look inside. Whenever you've got this open, make sure everybody on the boat is aware that the companionway's out of action. It can be embarrassing otherwise. And for access, we're going to take the lower step away as well. When we're dealing with an engine, remember the magic word wobbles. Wobbles, W-O-B-B-L-E-S, wobbles. Help you remember all the checks you need to do. W, for instance, that's water. She's water cooled, and in here we've got the radiator. Check we've got water in the radiator. Under the cap, stick your digit in, a little bit of water, that's fine. O for oil. Our dipstick on this engine is at the side. Pull the dipstick out and let's have a look and see how much oil's in the sump. Bit of kitchen roll needed for this one. Out she comes. When you do this, make sure you've parked the boat on a level surface. Okay, wipe the dipstick. Pop him in. And let's pull him out. Nice and black, all engine oil is black. There we go. Just below full mark, just what we want. B for belt, that's the alternator belt. Goes all round the engine here and turns the alternator, as we see here, charges the batteries. Go to a midway point on that, and you should be able to get about a quarter turn on that. Nice and firm, but not too firm. There you go. Check it for being frayed or broken or cracked. Nice new belt on there, that's fine. Second B, battery. There's our battery. Make sure that's all nice and secure, that the terminal's all nice and tight. Battery looks neat and tidy. L is for leaks. Have a look at your engine and see if there's any leaks. The well underneath the engine wants to be nice and clean. You should be able to eat your dinner out of the well in your engine. Not perhaps that you'd want to, but it should be clean. Any leaks will show up nice and quickly in there. All underneath there. There we go. All nice and clean. Lovely job. E for electrics. E, have a look round at the electricals. Make sure nothing's working its way free. Good look over. Yep, all sweet enough there. All up the back there. That's fine. Finally, we have S for strainer. Here's our strainer. It's this device that filters the seawater that the engine draws in to cool the system. Comes through this device here. There's a strainer inside that, so if any foreign matter or anything gets drawn up from outside, it stays in the filter and we can get rid of it. So anything like Harry Haddock, a plastic bag, anything nasty like that, we can always get that out and improve the water flow to the engine. Our strainer.